Hey guys, welcome back to another Warzone 2 video. Dude, we have more and more leaks as days go by, dude. Seriously, so many leaks. Like, we have a leak about this, as well as we have other leaks about, like, multiplayer and about perks that are going to be in the game, as well as a whole bunch of footage of multiplayer and DMZ and stuff is also leaked. So, those are going to be in separate videos. I wanted to focus specifically on Warzone 2 in this one, so make sure you guys are subscribed, that way you guys don't miss out on those videos. But then, of course, we still have tons of other leaks as well. So seriously, so much is being leaked about this game right now. It's crazy, but make sure you guys are subscribed, that you guys stay up to date, and that way you guys, find out exactly what is going on with Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone 2. So here we go. So today's information is coming from Tom Henderson. So a lot of this stuff in here is going to be kind of going alongside what we know previously. So like in the past couple of days, I posted videos about Warzone 2 as well, about other leaks and stuff. We know some specific maps that will be part of like the point of interest in Warzone 2, and that's going to be a separate video. This video is going to be just specifically talking about these new ones coming from Tom Henderson. Other leaks have been coming from Ralph. So Tom Henderson, he says that his article, so this is all coming from an article he posted today, he says that there's three things he'll be discussing in this article: Strongholds, Warzone 2, and DMZ. So for Warzone 2, he talks about the maps. So these are the returning maps that are going to be put into Warzone 2 and are going to make up, the whole map. So, of course, like say with Warzone 1, we had sections of the map like Boneyard or whatever, that was like from Scrapyard from Modern Warfare 2. So they took sections of old maps and they made it part of the, one big map for Verdansk. So stuff like that, it's going to be happening in Warzone 2 as well. So he says here, as mentioned in my earlier report last November for Modern Warfare 2, old maps will be returning to not only the core title, but to the Warzone 2 map itself. Within the Warzone 2 map, the maps that have been added and expanded upon as per my original report. He says final point of interest names for the maps itself have not been determined, but I can outline a few of these maps and their locations within Warzone 2. So the first map is from the original Modern Warfare 2, and that is High Rise. High Rise is located at the top right of the map under the point of interest name Modern City. As expected, Modern City contains a large city with lots of skyscrapers and tall buildings, which should satisfy players that have missed Verdansk from the original Warzone. Next map is Quarry. Quarry is located at the top left of the map under the point of interest named Quarry. Okay, easy enough. Terminal. Terminal is located at the bottom right of the map under the point of interest named Airport. This is one of three locations on the map with a large stronghold, and he talks about Stronghold in a little bit. Next one is Afghan. Afghan is located towards the middle of the map, but slightly to the left under the point of interest named Caves. There are also several other point of interest locations that could include more Modern Warfare 2 maps as well, including Mountain Town, which is located next to the observatory in the middle of the map, which could include Favela. There are several more locations too that seemingly hint towards more than a couple maps, but sources could not confirm the information before the publication of this article. Okay, cool. So a bunch of Modern Warfare 2 maps. And so it seems like, we have four of these four maps are going to be in like kind of the four corners of the map, as well as favelas potentially in the middle of the map. Next up, he talks about Strongholds. This is the new feature for Warzone 2, is Strongholds. Strongholds are something I've been sitting on for a while, but with new information coming from Nero Cinema being put out in the wild, he wanted to explain more about it. He says Strongholds are located across the entire map and will give players something additional to do instead of just buying your loadout at a buy station. He says there are around 25 to 30 of them spread out across the entire map, so probably just as many as the usual buy stations we've been accustomed to. He says there are several different tiers of strongholds too, with three large tiers, strongholds, and around 20 to 25 smaller strongholds scattered around the map. Strongholds are typically guarded by AI and contain objectives that you need to complete in order to gain access to your loadout. Presumably, the harder the stronghold, the bigger the reward. Not all point of interests have strongholds too, like presumably highly trafficked area like Modern City, not having any at all. Okay, so it sounds like it will probably, are strongholds random, or are they going to be, static, where they're going to be at the same locations every time you spawn in? I hope it's random. I hope there's random because, I feel like that just gives more of an element to them where they rotate and stuff, where, you don't keep dropping in the same spot on the same map all the time. It kind of gives players an incentive to drop in places maybe they don't drop all that often. He says, although Warzone 2 is still in development, Strongholds were described to me as being a new dynamic element to make players think carefully about their decisions, because once a stronghold has been taken, no other players can access it. If there are no strongholds available in your area, then you'll either have to move to the next available location or wait for the train to turn up that spans the entire map. So, I mean, it's a little comment there on the side, but there will be a train in the Warzone 2 map that will go around the entire map. Okay, makes sense. You know, we kind of had that with, say, Verdansk, so that's pretty cool. He says Warzone is no stranger to AI either, with AI first being incorporated into Caldera several months ago, which was likely to gauge how the community would respond to the feature. And now he talks about Warzone 2 and DMZ. Ever since my first report, I've reported that Warzone 2 and DMZ will have the same map, which I believe is still true. Back in December of 2021, so about 5 months ago, a source sent me the first ever footage and images of the new DMZ map, which contains little icons for objectives. I was able to verify the video and images with other sources who had said the footage was of the DMZ. Now, nearly 6 months on, a newly acquired source has sent me the Warzone 2 map, which is identical to the DMZ map. For me at least, this confirms that Warzone 2 and the DMZ will be sharing the same map, with each mode having a different gameplay loop. I've also reported in the past that DMZ has been in development for several years, and the map itself was designed with both the DMZ and Warzone 2 in mind. If you're not familiar with what DMZ is, he says it'll be Modern Warfare 2's third game mode that will be Call of Duty's take on extraction-based game mode. Players will fight against other players and AI as they try to complete objectives, loot up, and extract. And then he ends his article by saying Modern Warfare 2 is expected to release later this year with a trailer reveal date of June 8th. So let's talk about that real quick. So DMZ and Warzone 2 sharing the same map. Yes, I mean, it just makes sense. I mean, it's a good allocation of resources, and it's something that, you know, we've had in essentially previous games. So with Modern Warfare 2019, we had all of, you know, those giant ground war maps were actually part of the Warzone map. They were just broken up into, like, say, point of interest for it. So we had, like, Quarry, essentially, was, like, you know, part of the Warzone map. We had all of those, as well as Spec Ops in as, like, Modern Warfare's third game mode. It was the Warzone map. So, I mean, you can even still technically go back and play Verdansk, just not through Warzone, but you can play it through Special Ops. So the map was featured in that. And it, like I said, it just makes sense for them to be able to reuse that rather than creating like a new map. They also did that in Black Ops Cold War. So in Black Ops Cold War, you know, they made a map, the Ural Mountains map. They made a map for Warzone 2, or more likely it was actually for Blackout 2. But that map, you know, for one reason or another, didn't actually end up making it into Warzone. And so instead, they decided to split it up into all the different fire team maps, which was so sick, as well as all the outbreak maps as well. So, I mean, it's just, like I said, a great allocation of resources because, you know, you're going to devote a lot of time into developing this huge map. You might as well use it for more than just one mode. You might as well use it for multiplayer and Warzone, as well as, you know, instead of, say, for Black Ops Cold War, instead of also using it for zombies, instead for this game using it for DMZ as well. Like I said, it just makes sense. And personally, I like that too, because hey, if it is part of DMZ, it also could mean that this map is locked in kind of the same way that Verdansk was locked in for Special Ops in Modern Warfare 2019. So that way, hey, you know, in Warzone 2, if they get rid of this new map and they add a new one, just like they did with Caldera, you know, they remove Verdansk and they say Verdansk is never coming back, you can still kind of play it in one way or another through this other mode, which would be so sick as well. So, I mean, it'd be cool, you know, playing the same map, but with just, like, totally different objectives and stuff. It's kind of the same way with, like, Caldera right now with the Operation Monarch event. You can play that, you know, just regular Battle Royale, but you can also play it with this Operation Monarch event, and the map, even though it's the exact same map, it plays differently in these different game modes as well, and I really enjoy that. You know, it feels like the same map, but it also feels different as well, so I really enjoy that, and that's really cool. But that is what Tom Henderson had to say about that. Really cool stuff, guys. I'm excited about that. He also had a couple other things to say. First up is a tweet he posted earlier today. He said, to be honest, the new Warzone 2 map looks more like Blackout than it does Warzone in terms of its layout. It's going to be interesting to see how all this plays out, as well as he commented on Nero Cinema's video about Warzone 2. We're going to be covering that as well, but he says in response to that, I'm not going to beat around the bush, but a lot of this is true. I'm assuming there are discrepancies because the source can't remember exact details, but yeah, leak overload inbound, it seems. So yeah, I mean, Tom Henderson is verifying those leaks as well. A lot of these leaks and stuff still line up with what we've heard from Ghost of Hope, as well as Ralph. So lots of different sources coming out here for Modern Warfare 2, Warzone 2 and stuff. So lots of exciting stuff here with Warzone 2. I mean, the entire map has been leaked. Like I said, there's also been gameplay has actually been leaked out, and you can find it on Twitter. Now, I can't leak any of it to you guys, but I mean, you'll be able to find it pretty easily on Twitter. But yeah, we'll talk about that in a separate video. But yeah, the Warzone 2 map, we have new leaks about it, as well as more stuff about the game mode in our other videos we posted on the channel this last week. We've got tons of other information about Warzone 2, including Prop Hunt will be coming to Warzone 2. So if you guys want more details on everything we know about Warzone 2, make sure you guys go and check out those videos. I'm also thinking about maybe doing an overarching video talking about every single leak compiled so far about Warzone 2 and every single leak compiled so far about Modern Warfare 2 as well. So if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments down below, and also by giving the video a thumbs up. It really shows you guys support for these kinds of videos. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.